fantastic to see. But at the same time, I think people quite like seeing the average Zwifter jumping on and going, actually, you know, that could be me. I could do that. It's achievable. It's something I can relate to. So I think it's important.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And as I've said to both, or I've said to Nathan, but there are more Bs and C category riders out there than there are As and Ds. And if you focus on the A's, they'll get used to their name being mentioned, and that's it. You stream it, they won't share it, they probably won't even watch it. But if you put it through the B's and the C's and they get mentioned or they're on camera, they'll share it with their wives, their girlfriends, their kids, their friends. It'll be on their Facebook feeds. It'll be, oh, Hilly, look at me, I got a mention. So it's a bit of it's wild like wildfire. But yeah, the A riders are a bit like a wet forest. You try and set fire to that to get a wildfire, it doesn't work. But B and C, it will. They'll share it around all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. Well, keep up the great work.
No, thank you. Enjoying it most of the time.
What's your sleep pattern like, Martin? Do you get to sleep regularly, or is it hard to find?
Thursday's a tough one because the first one for me is at 3:20 a.m. in the morning, but the servers are now fully programmable, so they'll wake themselves up, do what they need to do for the race, and then shut themselves down afterwards. But I'm still getting up, just watching it for 20 minutes, half an hour, making sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, and I got up 3 a.m. this morning, sat and watched it for an hour, and then went back to bed. But it really depends. It really depends on the workload with Zwift, and that's going to increase rapidly. So everything's with them for approval for the Zwift Racing League, and I have a feeling they're going to do their usual and give me approval at the last flipping minute, and then it's going to be all hands on deck scramble, probably a 48-hour working shift to get it sorted out. Which is why there's a ticking countdown on our page for when the information is going to be released, and Zwift have been told under no uncertain terms this is a hostage situation. If you are not ready by then, I'm publishing it anyway.
Good on you. Yeah, good luck with that endeavour. I know from speaking to Glenn, you know Glenn Knight, who was founder of he had his fair share of challenges with Zwift, and dealing with races and organising leagues and championships. So I understand the challenges that lie ahead, shall we say?
Just so many people have to have a say, and you're kind of like, guys, do you have to have a meeting to decide what colour underwear you're going to wear that day? Because you can't make a damn decision.
Yeah, they probably do, actually. I've seen the state of some of the shoes that some of the guys wear. I've seen Steve Beckett's shoes, and crikey, not sure how he gets struck.
He seems to be one of the few in there with his feet on the ground and realistic. The others are just off on cloud cuckoo land. It's like, guys, I'm not doing that. We were doing that 2 years ago when we first started. That is so simple. I know you want to keep it simple, but we're doing a lot more than that. So come on, guys. Oh, well, we've picked the courses to suit broadcasts. Well, why? Do they pick the Tour de France route to suit the best camera positions? No.
Yeah.
So no, it's interesting. Interesting discussions we've had. We're winning.
Yeah. Well, I say good luck with it. I mean, really, really just wish you all the best with it, and keep going. Don't give up, because sometimes I think it can be a little bit like that. Like, feel like you're doing 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. But this league, this team time trials is a massive leap forward, really, in Zwift racing. So stick to your guns.
We've got more to do. We've got more coming with this, and we've had to delay it because of Zwift Racing League. But there is a lot more to do with the TTT coming.
All right, so we're voting posters each week now. Oh yeah, here we go.
Do you have? I'll tell you what you have to do, Nathan. You have to find some cheesy art music, and Lewis will know what I mean. But you remember Heartbeat?
I do.
Music, and then a gallery of all the images go past.
Need Fleetwood Mac. Albatross was his background music, wasn't it? I remember it well. That was my childhood. That was my childhood, Martin. You're just taking me straight back to watching TV in the 80s.
Yeah, no, Wackaday, Mallet, and all of that lot. That was me. I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh, exactly the same. Yeah.
Gemma, are you trying to get our attention? Gemma, were you trying to get our attention or no?
No. Can I go to the loo quickly?
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean, as long as you make your start time, because we won't talk to you till after. So.
Oh, God.
So I picked these three up. So that one is what your pick is, right, Lewis?
That's for me. Yeah.
I'm giving this one a third place, but I'm giving this one the first place. You get the second place.
That's amazing. Yeah,
only because the artwork is drawn here. The amount of time put into this one, like, is the main reason why. I think this one, as far as creativity, is pretty freaking amazing. But
yeah,
that's my rugby buddy at the top holding the bottle as well. That's Tim.
we're supposed to be live right now, so I'm gonna push.
Oh, are we? Oh.
I just need to change one thing. Well, I mean, TTT starts a little bit later than because everybody waits for their turn.
There's nobody. They're just starting to go out on course now, looking at the data coming through.
3 laps at 20. What again? 3 laps at 20. 28. All right, here we go. Martin, I'm muting you.
Don't forget to take me off screen. There we go.
Oh, gotcha. I'm muting you. All right, and radio silence if you could, Lewis. You can also bring in comments too, just so you know, Lewis. Watching chat, if you have the ability to, is always good too. So.
I will.
All right, here we go. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Swift Community Live broadcast of the World Tactical Racing League Team Time Trial number 75. I'm Nathan Garrett. We've got a new guest today. Dave is out doing things in the off-road world today in Colorado. Pretty cool that he's got some in real life events to actually go to. But I've got a special guest that's been around the world of Zwift for a long time, coming out over from the KISS Racing team, and they do have a KRT live stream just about a few times a week, actually, that I've been noticing. Lewis Dinsdale, if you're unfamiliar with Lewis. Lewis, you've been on old school Zwift Community Live stuff before. You actually had a different outfit on, I remember, in the last time that we saw you live in on Zwift Community Live. When we originally first had live rider cams, I remember there was you were one of our first guests.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, Nathan, it's great to join you in the virtual commentary box tonight and take Dave's seat. Yeah, I do remember being one of the streamers that we tried to do this kind of setup years ago, wasn't it, Nathan? And I do remember wearing a squirrel hat for a sprint finish. One time, I think
absolutely awesome. Yeah, you had a squirrel hat on. It was one of the best live rider camp situation, and it was old school KISS Racing. It was one of the first times. I think Casey Shum won on that day for Team Experimento. It was one of the first times we were live. Actually, I think it might have even been on Zwift's page the first time we were live there. So that was a long time ago. But it's great to have you here with us, Lewis. We've got an awesome team time trial here today. We're covering Viennas, we're covering Frappes, and we're covering the Espresso out there today. We're going to jump right on into the broadcast here with those teams. We'll jump into the Espresso to begin with. Also, another announcement, though, real quickly. Two other things. If you weren't watching, one of our own who's been a part of the community streams here for quite a while was going for a world championship today, obviously, defending her title. Chloe Dargert crashed very hard. I got messages directly from Nicola. Things seem to be stable, just so everybody knows. And from what she said, prayers. And it's going to be a hard road back, it sounds like, but lots of encouragement and support. She's asking specifically for prayers for Chloe, and that there's a good bounce back, and that's they can move forward with that. So we just want to throw that out there to the community. Thoughts, prayers out to Chloe and Team 2020 after a hard crash today. I think it's really hard to, those are always really tough losses, So, and then the other thing, though, on a more positive note is that we have a new competition. Not that this isn't competitive enough already. We have a poster competition. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen all these posters that come on through, but we're ranking the top 3 out here for these posters. And as we get into the broadcast here, we want to highlight what we're calling for top 3. I'm throwing the Time Chasers in from the Dirt team here as number 3 on the list out here, Lewis. And this was my pick to throw in at the top 3. Time Chasers, this looks like a solid. Every second counts. It caught my eye because Back to the Future, and it's all about time out here. So I absolutely love this one. But you had a really good pick here, though, Lewis. Why don't you give me an idea what this one's all about here?
Yeah, so I chose the Team TFC presents Hurricane, the Magnificent Seven. I just thought it was fantastic, just based on the movie of the same name, and they've laid it out like the movie poster. A lot of effort's gone into that. I hope the same amount of effort's gone into their training for tonight's team time trial. But what a great
left,
job!
I'm not sure what's going on there at the upper left. I think is the training happening from the pub. It looks like perhaps, but
what's he drinking?
This is one of the best. This one's absolute. I was tough pressed on this one to choose this actually as number 1, but the artwork is what got me here, and also the theme with Team Italy. This right here, and I wasn't. I at first I just went right by this. Was like, oh, that looks cool, good theme for Italy, but I didn't recognize that those were drawn images, like. Or at least they look like they're drawn, or they somehow manipulated that to look like they were drawn. But I really, really dug this. I'll take this as the number 1 out there today. So solid. Keep the posters coming. We love them. We'll give you a top 3 every week. It's so great to see how much effort that the community puts into all this every single week. We've got over 500 teams, 80 countries, I think pushing 5,000 racers. It's an amazing every single week. The biggest e-cycling event in the world. Week in and week out. Let's get right on into it, though. I know we've been chatting away for way too long here, and people are like, Nathan, there is a race going on if you didn't recognize. So let's get right on into it here. As you can see now, we're all jumping into the espressos as we do have, it looks like toward the front end, this is going to be the dirty afternoon, I believe. We do have splits. We'll be coming in with these as well. And as we get into the espressos, also want to highlight, we have throughout the day, the other categories that do go throughout the entirety of the day. So it's not just this Platinum League. The Platinum League is the fastest each and every week. They race each other in this top 10, top 11 teams up against each other. And to get entrance throughout all of the teams throughout the week, throughout the day, you have to be the top 11, amongst the top 11 to get into the Platinum League. So that is what this Platinum League broadcast is all about, if you did not know. So looking at this though here, Lewis, it looks like earlier today it was the Aero team that took down Zone 1 in the Viennas here, as you can see. Solid result here coming from them. They walked away with it actually by almost 4 minutes here. Aero Flyers, they're a little ways back. But, you know, Zone 1, you know, Lewis, you participated in this before at the TTT, and there's a lot of zones that go all day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean that's a big margin at the top of the board. 4 minutes is a considerable margin, isn't it, to have for the gold? That's a solid effort by Aero, Team Aero at the lead there. Looks a bit closer lower down, but it's just remind me, where Zone 1? What time zone is that? I mean, I'm UK time, so
we're gonna have Martin Carew here from the. What time does the Zone 1 go out, Martin? Martin is with us here from WTRL.
So, well, my time, 3:20 in the morning, but Lewis, your time, I think it's 10:20 a.m. It's predominantly aimed at the East Coast of America for those that like to race at 5 a.m. and then obviously the people that are at home in the UK. But that's 7:20 Sydney time in Australia, so it's their evening. And this morning, I think was close to 500 people in one event, so pretty busy.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So we are going to start getting some splits on screen here as we are looking. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the espressos here very quickly. We'll get an idea of how things are playing out amongst them with the splits. Nobody's really come through just yet with the Viennas, as you can see, but in the espressos we may have one split, and we do have this one split. It is going to be, it's going to be the Rule 5. I'm just going to call them Rule 5. Just to keep it friendly over here. Rule 5 on the front right now, hammering away. They have pulled off a pretty solid time so far, it looks like, with this 8:53, 6 kilometers in. It'll be at the 6 kilometer, the 14 kilometer, and the 22 kilometer. We'll be getting the splits. Now, this course, though, Lewis, definitely has a drafting all the way through, but this climb is going to be interesting the way that it's stuck in the middle here. It's not a straight up climb, but it definitely has some drafting that is involved on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the reverse Hilly climb of Watopia, and I have to say this is one of my favourite courses. I think all-time favourite courses to race on, because the hill isn't just a straight up climb. It's got a real kick at the start, hasn't it, Nathan, as you know well, and then it eases off, and then you do get a little bit of respite. There's a couple of bits where you descend and then you can go again before you reach the KOM arch at the top of the hill. Really important for the guys and the girls out on course to try and stay together, because any gaps appearing, it's going to be really hard to get a time.
Yeah, definitely. I think the reality of the way you ride this climb, I think that initial kick is a good spot early on. I think Robinson and the rest of the innovation team, this is going to be that are coming on through. Yeah, definitely innovation. They've already hit the section I was thinking of just a little while ago. Maybe we'll be able to see if CLS is out here. But the reality is that that first little kick, I think there is going to be a section there where you can really, this is going to be Waddy Inc., I believe. They're going to show us right here. This initial kick right here gets up into that 8, 9, 10, I think, percentage, and that will be able to gain a lot of time, but I think that's the only section where you really want to throw those orange numbers. Otherwise, you got to have some consistency up and over the top. We're going to see, though, whether or not the teams can keep things together, because as soon as it starts going uphill, I think a lot of times you have a lot of issues amongst the teams staying together, keeping those numbers. In the TTT, it really is all about using each one of those bodies correctly.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it'd be really interesting just to turn this bend right now, right where our eyes on now, 5.2 watts per kilogram, 6 watts per kilogram, 6.1. They're not going orange, actually. Interestingly, their tactic is clearly they're going to just ride at FTP or over FTP, but without trying to drop maybe the slightly weaker riders of the team. So a really great effort to keep together as much as possible on this climb. So they're not going all out on that section. I remember watching the team time trial from a couple of weeks ago, and you were eyes on one of the KRT team members, Daffith Williams, and he was struggling actually, and it was the Yorkshire course and UCI course, and he brought it back. He got a toe back, but it just shows you on the hilly courses you've got to be so careful not to get dropped. It's very easily done.
Yeah, we do see it. One rider now trying to get back just a little bit. It's going to be Cronin. I don't think he was struggling too much. I think he was just timing things really well there. A little bit of drop on the hurry monitor. He's probably frustrated, it looks like there. Now Jones here looks like making his way to the front. 185 beats currently coming from this rider. Very close race already here at the top, though. CLS Class Dynamos, they're leading things up with an 8:43 right now. Innovation, it looks like Rebels. They're followed up by Dutch Diesel, Cycling Blur, and then it's going to be, I'm going to struggle with that one because I want to say the acronym. It's going to be Rule 5 here, coming on through, currently holding down fourth. We'll see if Waddy Ink Bike can come on through with a better time here. Now, let's go ahead and jump on over to the Viennas, as we do have the ladies race out on course now. And we are in with, it looks like, the Valkyrie team. They are going to be the first ones to go out on course. They were the last seeded riders out on the from last week. So they do go out in order, just like you would have in real life TTT, with the best seed going last. It's exactly the same way that you have it in real life. So now we do, it looks like they have Valkyrie now with a 10:20. See if they can hold on. This is, wow, looking at 12 teams actually out here today. So interesting to see. And this is going to be a serious competition here. Sox Watts have shown up. They do have, it looks like, their Aero Unicorns at the top. Z-Sun Hypernova, they actually took down that second seed, it looks like, out here today. Followed up by Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, TFC Vixen. And that was a little bit of a upset last week, I remember, with Z-Sun having such an amazing race. So we'll see if they can throw down again, because last week it was, I Race Like a Girl with Sisu, as well as the Wonder Women, usually not beaten by Z-Sun. So Z-Sun kind of getting on the radar as one of the top teams here, which was a whole new revelation in the world of this racing.
Yeah, I agree, Nathan. I watched the broadcast last week, and I think the that Zwift threw out, I think, may have put a few spanners in works, I know, for some of the teams, and it led to a bit of mixing up of the teams out there on the team tile trials last week, but and it may have just left some gaps in the leaderboard for the obviously spots for the Platinum League for this week, which is great to see. But I'm going to be trying to keep a really close eye on Socks for Watts, the women's team over in the Group 4. So I've logged in, I've sneaked in. It's the pen, and I'm going to be keeping a little sneaky eye on their time and try and bring you that before the end of the broadcast. But yeah, great to see other teams challenging really and coming to the top of the leaderboard, because I think you and Dave were saying just last week about the domination, and great question about, actually when you're at the top, absolute top, and a team like Socks for Watts is a hybrid team. It's made up of women from across the globe, from different teams. They're coming together to make like this super team, creme de la creme of women's bike racing, and it's great to see. It's really fantastic to see.
I do want to give a shout out to those that are out in chat. We are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitch, we are also live on YouTube. And if you are in the chat there, we do see it coming on through. We do see all of the mentions that are coming through in chat here. So big mention here for Team Type 1 tonight. Lewis, 4 teams in the Premier League across Frappe, Latte, and Mochas tonight. Thanks a lot there, Flo Barrage. Great to see you again in the representation for Team Type 1. So I want to keep on bringing them on through here. Lewis, do you know Flo?
I do know Flo. I do know Flo actually, and I'll disclaimer right up front. Flo Burridge, very good family friend, and he hails out the Lake District, and fantastic cyclist himself. And I did a charity ride with Flo and his son Tom earlier in the year, and it was incredible. Tom went up out to Zwift about 2.5 times. I think he did it 2.5 times. And the kid's 11, 12. Absolutely incredible effort. Incredible effort. He raised over £1,000 for the charities that he nominated. So for Teep Time One and for the Diabetics Association and charities that he was raising money for. So just brilliant. And I know he's a big follower of the channel. So shout out to the Burridges tonight, and to Tom and Emily, and to Elaine and Flo.
Absolutely loving it, and that's what it's all about in this community, that's for sure. It shows just how well connected everyone is, and it's really great to hear. Thanks a lot for jumping into the chatter there. If you got a story, go ahead and share it. You got somebody you want to cheer on, you have someone in the race out there you want shout out to the rest of the categories that go on throughout the day, go ahead and throw it in chat. We'll see if we can bring it on in. Let us know who your favorite racers are and who you think is going to win out there today. Will there be any upsets in the categories that we are covering? We've been along with the Vikings for a while here, as you can see, and it is going to be the splits coming on in for the Viennas, and it looks like currently Army ladies here, 10:04. Wow, these are all so close in this top 5 and 6. In the espressos, it was within 30 seconds. Now we're within 50 as well here in this top 6. Pretty amazing, Lewis.
That's incredible. Those top 3 times to be covered by 1 second. Wow, this is going to be close. I think, and a course like this, when it's hilly, you probably don't expect it to be so close. Be interesting to see how it pans out, but that is super close for so early on in the race. Vikings Valkyrie just 10:19. They've just slipped in there as well, haven't they? Their time's just changed up on the board there. So, wow, it's going to be hard to call. It's going to be really hard to call. I know they're in the rankings, so the lower teams, they're going to be really interesting ones to watch. I will certainly be looking out for Socks for What, Sarah Unicorns, and I was doing a little bit of research before at the top of the show just to try and get some eyes on some of the guys and the girls, obviously in Socks for What's Unicorns, and Ruby Oakes, who hails out the Isle of Man, 14-year-old. Rider riding for Team JRC, track and road under 16 youth, and she's really on a trajectory, a fine trajectory. She's got ambitions to be a world tour rider, and she's going places. So 14 and big grand ambitions, superb. It's what we want to see.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing to hear. I love those stories. We'll have to get eyes on that rider here as soon as we possibly can. Now we do have, as we go through, for the focuses out here today, we'll come back to the Viennas in just a moment. It does look like most of the riders are out on course at this point here. We are looking at Wadi Inc. I do see the chatter coming on through from, it looks like Sasha Spaeth saying, "Go Wadi Inc. crew, kick some booty." So solid result here so far coming on in for the first split from Wadi Inc. It does look like they are holding down right toward, well, where is Wadi Inc. on here? I'm looking through, and they're right around 8th place, it looks like right now, 10:54. So we have to speed things up just a little bit, still within a minute of this of the top spot, and starting a little slower doesn't always hurt. We've seen plenty of teams come back fast and furious if they do have a little bit left in the reserves. Now, we are also with the Frappes out here today. We definitely want to jump on in with them, and they have started in, I believe, they're about 13 kilometers in for the first team that we're following along with. That is going to be the Dirt Time Chasers. This is one of the ones, now this is going to be the team that took the 3rd place on the competition out there today when it came to the posters. The Dirt Time Chasers out here. Every second counts. They're absolutely killing it. Luke Owen, Kieran McKenna we're seeing here, Greg Pilgrim, Robert Crondon, Sebastian, as well as Graham Loyal and Justin Wild. I believe, yep, this is going to be that team. Solid job with the poster. Now let's go ahead and see what kind of times are pulling off. They were the slowest seed though from the competition to get in. We'll have to see how things ended up playing out so far for these splits. As we look through, this is going to be the espresso. Let's see if we can find the Frappes out here, and here we go. And the Dirty Time Chasers, they're currently holding down. Whoa. Is is that? Nope, that's not going to be right. Actually, we got to look at it. There.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty Time Chasers here. They are currently sitting in, it looks like 5th place, I believe, maybe 6th place there. So right about halfway. 1931. They're 14 kilometers in. The reason they're there at the top there is because the splits come through, and they put the one that have gone through the latest at the top of the splits there, just so everybody knows. But solid result here so far, and it's pretty close for them. As you can see, only 20 seconds off the top time, actually.
Yeah, and just as it turns and kicks, this is the bit, 8%, 7%. You can see the gradient kick up in the top right hand corner of the screen there, and they're sticking together really nicely here as they go, as it banks up. You know, they're not. No one's going orange with their numbers. 5, around 4.5, 5 watts per kilogram, but sticking together. I only see 4 riders there. Is that them? Is that they all together?
They're struggling. They're struggling a little bit here. Pilgrim. It looks like Owen Purdy. This is, oh boy, yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be tough to get. They're gonna have to weld this back together here in just a moment, or they're gonna struggle with only 4 bodies. I mean, speaking of Zwift here, Lewis, and the way that it works, the reality is, it really matters, that snowball effect amongst the team time trial.
Oh, it's incredible. And I've been in this situation, Nathan, so many times as a C-Cat myself out on Zwift, and you see that split just start to go. You see the close the gap sign, and you learn to hate it. You learn to detest it with a passion, because you just want to pull those pixels towards you, and they go away. They go down the road, and it's good night Vienna. It's really hard. It's really, really hard, because the draft effect is real. You know, it does. You get that sense that you're in the wheels and you're sitting tight. You definitely feel that ease on the trainer, on the smart bike, and then when you're in no man's land, psychologically it can be just as hard as much as it is physically. You know.
I believe they're just letting Pilgrim go as well as Owen. I think they just realized that the reality here is that what can be added from Pilgrim at this point with that drop-off through that section. They probably are in Discord as well. You know, and you've participated. I actually have not participated in the TTT. I need to actually get on this here, because I've been just sitting here commentating, and I can talk to the tactic all I want, but there's a reality of, like, I need to get involved if I want to say anything about it. So with your experience here, you know, they've probably communicating going, you know, where are you at? And if that rider says, look, I'm just done, then cut the cord, you know, let it go and continue on.
Yeah, absolutely. And 19 seconds, he's not coming back from that, I don't think, 20 seconds. Although actually he's putting out 4.4 watts per kilogram, but he's not going to catch these 3-4 riders down the road, I don't think, unless he's superhuman and he straps Doc's time machine to his back and shoots 88 mile an hour up the road.
Bring the flux capacitor, Pilgrim. Bring it in, along with the poster win out there today. But no flux capacitor. Gonna have to go find the bell tower there, Pilgrim. So we're back into with Evo. Now let's go ahead and see how things are working out for Evo. And as we work our way through the Frappe category, they are in a dominating position, it looks like here. 8:59 at the last check here. Not so bad now about the 5, but now at a 19:28, so a little bit better. It looks like they're bringing some time back, actually, over the top of the Dirty Time Chasers, as well as Race 3R Bucks Fizz. So solid effort here coming from Evo Vortex. We give them a shout out. It's going to be Mikolo as well as Deanne. Then it's going to be F2B Hick as I like that. F2B Hick Ripley. And then also at the front, Thorn, as well as Gorodi here coming out of Italy. So that is going to be the team. It does look like one of the riders here, Ripley here, just struggled a little bit. And this, we've seen this time and time again so far already within the first lap and a half. This climb has made things very difficult for them to keep things together. Close to the top push, we're hearing from Thorn there. I love the in-game communication. Maybe need a little bit of Discord, though, going on there. It's going to be very difficult to type.
Yeah, definitely. And Ripley looks like he's putting a big effort in, 4.8, 4.9, and I think he's done enough. I think he's ridden himself back into the wheel, and that's a great catch. That's a really important catch, because they would not want to lose him so early on in the race. So he's done really well there. That's a great effort, a big dig to get himself back into contention, to be a team player once more. And he's got a bit of benefit now of draft and also the downhill ever so slightly. Or is it a false flat? Yeah, it's a false flat. It's not going downhill at all. it's 2%. Yeah. Obviously, they're just coming to the turn where you go up towards the start finish. Sorry, the KOM banner at the top of this, and they're looking like a tight knit team of 6 once more.
Yeah, nice job getting back on terms. And I think it was worth the wait there, even if they had to bring it down 1 watt per kilogram for just a moment, because having another rider involved with this many bodies, they're downhill now as they come over the top and crest this KOM. It's going to be that much faster because there is that snowballing effect. Each rider's avatar heading to the front with more speed will then increase the speed more and more and more. Really, I think 5 or 6 bodies, so important. So good to see that the Ripley got back on terms. We'll see what they can pull off here as the times start to continue to come in. They're still holding down the top spot at the second split, that 14-kilometer part. Evo Vortex, they were 3rd seed. They were the 3rd to go out on course. It looks like they might be bettering that this week with a solid effort. So 1928, 1948 now just coming through from Team Type 1 CGMs. Z-Sun Jupiter there, 1944, and then at 1932 from Race 3R, Buck Fizz. So that's the current situation here as the time splits come in with the 12 teams. We'll jump back in with the Frappe and Evo in just a little bit once they start getting closer to the finish line. Here's Race 3R as they hold down that 3rd spot so far with a lot of riders still intact, doing a great job.
A full team there. I think I count 8 on the road there, so they've done brilliantly to get up and over that first initial climb, and with all the riders together and riding supremely in a pack of 8 as they are doing. And putting down some good times here. I think they're going to be certainly one to watch as we come up to the 14K split and see what time they get. But I think they'll be moving up the board. I can see them moving up the board.
Yeah, 4th place currently coming from them, 1932. Very close here, though. Dirt Time Chasers, Race 3R, and Vikings now as well. So very, very close. Lovely climbing again. We're hearing from Thorne, giving some encouragement. I love the team leadership there, coming within the Evo team there, how he's encouraging everybody on. So that's always really, really good to see. Let's move our way backwards just a little bit more. We'll get about halfway through the Frappe category here before we make our way on over back toward the Espressos for their finishes. A lot of them are going to be getting close to their final lap out there. I think we are in with Z-Sun here at this point. This is going to be the Jupiters. They're currently holding down for 6th place with a 1944. I'm going to give a shout out here. It looks like it's going to be Osborne Lupert as well as Nick Clayton is there, and then it's going to be T Light just getting back on terms. It's going to be M8 here, making his way into the pack.
He did it. Another great job just to get back on the wheel, get right back in the pack, and not get dropped. So he'll be able to work for the team for hopefully another lap and take them to the end. But a great effort there in trying to keep on top of chat as well, Nathan, and we've got some comments coming through. Rick Barbera Gigawatts. I think that's in relation to our time chasers comment earlier. Ashley Phipps saying, get involved, Nathan. The man who seems everything, get involved. Another one from Flo Burridge saying, another big team Type 1 ride for a cure on 3rd of October. There's a link there in chat, so it's open to all. Come and join us as we raise funds to help find a cure. So fantastic. Yeah, that's a big shout out there to Flo and to Team Time 1. If you're around, if you're able to jump in and support that, it's great charity to support and cause. Tom Ove, Kaeland, nice Evo kit, is it new? He's asking. And Tugaz Rim on schedule for a possible course record in Frappe, so they're definitely one to watch. So keep the comments coming through. It's fantastic. It really helps. And here are the course records. Yeah, Socks for Watts, WRT, and I'm eyes on Rachel Elliott on my other screen. I've got 3 screens on the go, mate. And she's leading the way at the front, 5.3 watts per kilogram, 4.9, 4.5. And I know she's not in the Socks for Watts WRT team aren't in this Platinum League tonight, but they are supremely fast. So it'll be really interesting seeing the time that they register and how that stacks up with the.
It's going to be interesting how it plays out here. We are hearing, as you said, Team Type 1 Lance is on schedule for a course selected in the Latte. So will they be able to take down Kirchmer E-Cycling's 40-43? And the other question is, will all these stand? We are actually seeing a time come through right now. Is that going to be correct there in the Espressos? Has the Espresso just finished in another, I wonder, just finishing perhaps in another one of the zones and coming through with the new course record already. We'll have to wait and see if we get some information on that. But solid there, it looks like, as they were changing live. So obviously very fast, very competitive out here today between the riders. We're going to jump back in with the Viennas, and it does look like at the top, CRYO are currently killing it. And CRYO have 26 teams across all of the day. I mean, that is, think about it. If they packed each one of the 20, I don't even know. I can't even do the math in my head. 26 times 8. I got to do the 20 instead. That's insanity. How many teams that they've got going on throughout the day here, and all named after birds, I believe. And there's plenty of birds in the world, so I don't think they're running out there.
It's great to see. Yeah, it's great to see. The team names make me smile. We were on a laugh before we came on air just about some of the names of some of the teams. I think some of the teams do get quite creative with them, don't they, Nathan? And they increasingly trying to come up with more and more interesting and creative names to try and push the boundaries, really, of what we can bring and broadcast live.
Yeah, 100%. Now, Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, currently holding things down at the 20:07 because they're the first one through the 14-kilometer mark. If we go on back just a little bit here, though, we can see that the last checkpoint did have, interesting enough, were they actually the top time there, still, even at the last check mark? So, I'm not incorrect. We do have Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, walking away a little bit with this one.
Wow.
10:08 there with Saxawat's Aero Unicorn. So I have a feeling that perhaps with not the full team out there today, that this might be their week. And I Race Like a Girl, I think they have struggled. Look at the time though. They've got a full minute over TFC. Will Z-Sun to Hypernova, they'll take them out? That's going to be the question, because they were, again though, nobody was even close to 1917. I Race Like a Girl have shown up to win out here today.
Absolutely. That's a big gap. That's a big gap early on. That's a really big gap early on. 14k in and a minute in the back pocket is incredible. Is an incredible. It's laying it down, isn't it? And there's 6 of them. I can see 6 on the road. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I believe there's 6 of them.
This is going to be their second team, though, Lewis. This is going to be their second team. This is Sisu Do. I don't know, my friend.
Oh, sorry. We eyes on with Sisu Do.
Yeah. So that's where we're on right now. But I Race Like a Girl, the other Sisu team, I'm going to have to jump in and find them out on course. They were the 10th to go out on course. It's going to be a little ways back, I think, from here. We'll see if we can find them out on course, and if we do, we'll see how they're going. This is going to be the Sox to Watts team, though. And Kotzer here, it looks like, followed up by Etzchild, and then it's going to be Gemma Fells team. We do have Gemma here with the live cam, hammering away, as you can see. 185 beats per... Her heart rate has to be so incredibly high. Cyclocross racer, I know, in real life as well as on the road. And Gemma here at 185 looks extremely calm, actually. So, and maybe she just knows how to hide it, though.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, cyclocrossers. Anyone who cyclocrosses is I love cyclocross. That was my discipline many years ago when, as a junior, used to love a bit of cyclocross action, which is why I love Zwift racing so much. The starts of Zwift races just remind me of the start of cyclocross races so much. But she's a national level cyclocrosser. And she's been using the team time trials as great training. It's far less muddy, she says, and she's really enjoying the weekly team time trials. She lives in Hertfordshire, and the Sox Sports teams sort of put together to build that women's community on Zwift, which is great to see. And she feels that riding together each week really pushes everyone to the limits of the limits of their individual ability, but to work as a team to get as many over the line as possible is great. And they've got a Team DS as well. They have a Team DS, Paul, who is talking them through the course via Discord, I believe. So he'll be giving them splits, and he'll be giving them encouragement and telling them when to dig, when to just ease up, just to, he'll be watching them probably from an aerial view like we are now as the course ramps up here 10%. It just peaks at 10% briefly on that bend, and we go again. So eyes on at the front here with Oaks, and she's the 14-year-old. As I said, she's stylish, isn't she? She's got some power. She is immense. So she's going to be someone to contend with. Yeah, fantastic. So Ruby doing a cracking job on the front there. The rest of the team just starting to come back up. She's obviously eased off the gas a little bit to let them catch the wheel. Probably getting it in the ear from Paul in the Discord channel saying, just ease up, Ruby, just let the others catch on, don't go mad, you need to keep together, that's it. Fantastic.
Ruby
and
Oaks,
there they
14? Go. Did you say 14 years old? Oh, this isn't a dropout, this is a wait, but she's got to know, not zero. Yeah. You can't go zero, Ruby. Oh, you got it. It looks like she's got the power to come right on back, though, with a little bit of a rest there. So, and 7 watts per kilogram real quick. 185 beats per minute, though. And now she's going to go flying right on through them with the 7 watts per kilogram, though. Front to back real quickly here, though. 0 watts per kilogram always stops the avatar, just so everybody knows. You got to be putting out a little bit of something in order to continue the movement of the avatar, even when you're moving to the back here. But getting a little bit of experience under the belt here. But, I mean, look, the talent is obvious, even if it's some learning of the experience, with how strong she is.
So true. So true. Yeah. I mean, to be that talented at that age, she has a bright future. Definitely has a bright future ahead of her. And so Gemma Felstead, Masters age, and A-Cat in Zwift Power. So's Ruby. She's classified as an A-Cat. Another shout out to Kate Robinson as well. I'm just looking to see if Kate Robinson, I can't see her name. Is she there? Is Robinson there? Yeah, Robinson's there. Robinson's there as well. And just did a bit of research into Kate as well. And she's a doctor. She's a GP here in the UK, and she's a 30-something age group triathlete based in Berkshire. And she took up triathlons in January 2015, shortly after moving here. And she's come from a background of casual road racing and cycling, sports acrobatics, just trying to keep fit, making some new friends. But she joined Berkshire Tri Squad, which turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made, and she's addicted. Massive shout out to her, because she's representing here the Socks for What's Unicorns team brilliantly. But shout out to her, because she's one of our doctors working in the NHS over here in the UK. So she's absolutely 100% all right in my book.
Back on over to the Espressos here. We do have one of our live racers here. There's going to be Cesar Valera riding for the WEZ team, the World Elite Zwifters. And usually one of the top teams, but as you can see, there is quite the battle, as WTRL Volendam have shown up again. It looks like we do have Rule 5 finishing out the day that they were in that right around 9th place, or it looks like 8th place, as they've just finished out. Rule 5 is done on course. You can see the efforts here, though, going at 400 watts now as they make their climb. As I said earlier, this climb is going to be the main section out on course that they're going to be making time on. As you can see, the World Elite Zwifters always one of the top teams, and they had that 18:20, 2 seconds off the top time, it looks like, of WTRL Volendam. That's going to be the Dutch team. That has set plenty of course records out here. So Volendam versus WZ, that is quite the race going on here, actually, between these two. And always very, very strong teams. It's along the same lines of that PO Auto, that SARS, the Pros class, if they were going to show up, WEZ, World Elite Zwifters. They're definitely amongst what I would call the pro-level esports teams out on Zwift.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The World Elite Zwifters, this team, I was doing a little bit of research again, just looking at the squad, thinking, well, who is it? Who are these guys? And the A+ category riders in this team outweigh the A's. They've got more A+ guys on the team than they have A's, which just says it all for me, because to be an A+ category rider on Zwift Power, you've got to be special, and you've got to be at the very top of your game. They are absolutely flying around, and I think they'll overhaul that gap, I think, possibly by the end. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be close. There's not a lot in it.
Yeah, that's my mistake there. Wadi Inc. Bike Racing is going to be who Caesar's riding for. I saw the time come on through for WEZ at the same exact time that I saw Caesar jump on. and saw the W there, and I think a little bit of confusion. Jumped on it a little bit too quickly there, but he's originally from Venezuela, actually. He's based in San Francisco Bay Area. He's got 3 kids, 5-year-old and 2.5-year-old, 2 twins. Wow, very, very busy here. I can relate. Former pro triathlete and currently a triathlon wellness coach, it sounds like. So as he makes his way to the line, hammering here, Caesar, up and out of the saddle on the West Coast right now. So very cool to see. 43 years of age, it looks like, and fast on the bike as he ever been. Look forward to every week at different challenges. He's the director of Wadi Inc., actually, Zwift racing team, and also raced with World Elite Zwifter. So I think that's why I got things a little bit mixed up there. It's because he's also racing with WEZ. But today, he is racing with Wadi Inc. as they make their way to the line. Here's going to be the sprint for the times. And they're throwing down some solid times here as they come across. They were in 4th place at the last time check, only 1 second off of Evo, so it'll be interesting to see it. Oh my gosh, you can see the efforts there coming in as they make their way across the line.
And it's great to see the cameras, Nathan. Love seeing those suffer cams. We call them suffer cams on KRT Live, and we try and bring the action from inside the pain caves alongside the Zwift screens, like we are doing here tonight in Zwift Community Live broadcast. And it's great to see Caesar's style there was ace out the saddle like all day long. I think I'd be suffering from mega cramp if I tried that. But yeah, right on to him. Superb effort.
Yeah, amazing effort out there today. As we're going to jump around a little bit here. We're back in with Socks for Watts. And the rest of the Vienna crowd as they make their way around. Now, what I am wondering is how this is going to end up playing out here with the Viennas for these top times, because I think as we look through here, 34:09 currently Viking Valkyrie, 34:19. 36:18 coming through for Wadi Inc. The fastest time, though, was still Sisu I Raced Like a Girl. They had that 20:07. They are just walking away with this one this week. I am so impressed. And this looks like Sisu is going to be their week.
Look at the time now, Nathan. It's just updated. They're almost 3 minutes ahead. That's they've done it. They've got it. Look at that. That's incredible. Wow. 31:25.
That's my next question is, will this be a new course record? Are they going to be able to take down? I mean, in Socks for Watts, the last time we were on this course, just to give some context here about this course record from Socks for Watts, the reality of that course record, it was up against the Choppers, that full pro triathlete team with Lucy Charles and the rest. It was the top level our WRT, the world racing team, their world team, Socks for Watts. And then it was, I believe, there was one other team that was out there with them, but it was like an absolute all-out mayhem out there out on course, setting these times. It was so close, and Socks for Watts threw everything they had, it looked like. If Sisu takes this down, that will be a ride of a lifetime, and we've got a new battle on our hands for next week for 76 to see if the Socks for Watts show up to try and defend up against what looks to be next week's top team, barring any kind of disaster out there.
Yeah, definitely. Could we get eyes on Sisu? Because I'd love to see what kind of power they're putting out at the front. I've got eyes on, as I've said before, Socks for Watts WRT over on my third screen here to the left-hand side, and I'm looking at who's sitting on the front. Is it Becky? Is it Bex? She's currently putting out 6 watts per kilogram. Leah Thorfelson's putting out 5 watts per kilogram. Rachel Elliott 4.9, 4.8. They are really hammering. They are riding themselves back into the Platinum League next week. Be under no mistake about that. But it's going to be fireworks next week between these two teams, because they'll definitely have something to say, I think, about this. I mean, Sisu, they should be on for a course record here. That must be what they're going for.
We have Dew here. I'm looking to see if I can find the other I Raced Like a Girl team out on course here, if I can. As soon as we do, we'll get them on screen, as this effort from them is obviously a whole new level. And I'm really excited to see, as this is what it's all about. Competition really pushes riders to the next level. We got Wendorf here, as you can see, and I think is this going to be Kessler here.